This video is brought to you by Artistica by Heart, your one-stop shop for digital templates. Use the code ARTIST11 to receive 10% off from your purchase. Link to the shop is on the description below.
If you are ever buried in rubble, yelling will just waste energy. Try to grab something and start tapping in intervals of 3, and rescuers will notice the odd pattern. A lot of backpacks actually have a hidden whistle. If your car ever goes into the water, open a door or window immediately. Before a natural disaster, fill up your tub and your sink so that you have access to emergency clean water. If your drink randomly smells like cinnamon, don't drink it. People often will use it to cover up the scent of actual poison. Sitting in the back of the plane in the middle seat has the highest chance to survive a plane crash. If someone points a gun at you, maintain eye contact. They will likely feel something, causing them to hesitate or move on from you out of embarrassment. If you get pulled out by a riptide at the beach, swim parallel to the shore and swim around. Most drunk driving deaths occur on Saturdays between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., so avoid the roads at that time if possible. You can still try to dial 911 if you don't have service. Sometimes it will work and connect to the nearest cell tower. If you're skidding in a car, steer in the direction of the skid. If someone gets stabbed, do not pull the knife out. If you keep your iPhone face down when you're not using it, you will save battery because it won't light up for every notification that you get. If you ever almost drown to the point of throwing up or passing out, you should still go to the hospital because your lungs can still fill with fluid over the next few hours. If the ocean is retreating, there is a tsunami coming. If a stranger gets in your car and tells you to drive somewhere, bump into a lamppost. You won't be useful to them anymore with a damaged car and attention on your scene. If you're being tied up, try to puff yourself up as much as possible while it's happening so that it'll be easier to slip out. In a stressful situation, point to someone and give clarity on who should call 911 instead of everyone thinking they should just call 911. Do not inflate your life jacket before evacuating the airplane. In water landings, your life jacket in a rapidly submerging airplane will cause you to float to the top of the cabin and not be able to swim out. If you have to perform CPR, follow the beat of Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. If someone gets hypothermia, you need to heat them up gradually. Putting them next to a fire immediately will probably kill them. Do not put frostbitten fingers or toes in hot water for the same reason. Your blood cannot adapt as fast to the sudden change in temperature. If you ever get lost in the woods, always follow water downstream. In an emergency situation, you can use a crayon as a candle. It will burn up to 14 minutes. If you witness an accident, never take off the person's helmet. It could make a spinal or brain injury worse. If you have a wound on you, even a bug bite, and see a red streak from it following your veins, you have blood poisoning. If a service dog ever approaches you without its owner, follow it because you could save that person's life. If you ever feel like someone is following you, take 4 right turns, and if that person is still behind you, that means they are following you. Do not drive home, just go to a police station and call the police on your way there. If you are ever chased by a polar bear, take off your clothes, get completely naked, and throw them on the ground. Polar bears have really short attention spans and will inspect the clothes before continuing to chase you. If you ever come face to face with a mountain lion, just walk backwards from them. They will be waiting for you to turn around to attack. If there's an earthquake, do not go up or down any stairs. They can collapse. Hornets are angered by the color white, and if you think that taking your white shirt is gonna help, there's white in your eyeballs that they will still see. Putting mud all over your body will keep you from being eaten alive by insects. If somebody ever has you at gunpoint or with a knife and is trying to take you to a private place, you just have to start screaming and fighting because even if you get shot in the leg, you're more likely to actually get found than if you get to the private place. You will likely not be found.
Here are some facts that could legitimately save your life one day. Spend the next 60 seconds and listen the fuck up. I truly hope you never have to use this video, but if you do, you're welcome. Now the first one's for if you ever get stuck in a boot or trunk of a car. First thing to do is stay calm. Probably easier said than done. Every American car made after 2002 is required by law to have a trunk release inside the boot. And it looks like this. You're going to locate it, then pull it down or up depending on the model. And it's also glow in the dark, so it's easy to locate. Once you do that, run! Next up, if you're ever in a survival situation and have a bag of Doritos and that's all you have, I'm not too sure in what world that'd be all you have, but I don't judge. You should probably know if you're in a cold situation, these things are really good for kindling and burn for hours. Next up, let's assume you're buried under rubble and can't get out. Do not scream straight away. Find something, grab it, and tap in intervals of 3. The human brain is amazing at recognizing patterns, so people on the surface will pick this up. And then when you can hear people approaching you, yell help like you're singing in a choir. And finally, if you see a tornado and it doesn't look like it's moving, that actually means it's coming towards you to make you its new fucking color buddy. Here's with friends, help them survive if they ever need it. Elon! Here are 4 survival tips that could legitimately save your life or someone you know and love. So for the next 30 seconds, sit down, shut up, and listen! People all around the world are starting to notice weird markings be put on their house. These are actually burglar markings, and they say a lot about your house specifically. So if you ever see anything like this on your house, you are being watched. And you need to go to the police immediately. Even if it's this one, still get help as they could have moved on to your neighbors. Next up, bins in the middle of a road. I know. If you are driving anywhere, especially at night, and there are bins suddenly in the middle of the road, I can't stress this enough, do not get out of your car. It's better to go around them if you can, or honestly, straight through them. Because people are using this tactic to wait for you to get out of the car to move the bins, so that they can take your car or potentially do something worse. Next up, if there's a zip tie on your fence or anywhere around your house, people are actually putting zip ties on fences to indicate to others that in that house is a dog that is worth taking. That's right, your fluffy friend. Get help immediately. And finally, if there's string on your car door, that means someone's watching you. So share this with a friend to keep them safe because you're a good person. Elon! Here are some facts that you were never taught that could legitimately save your life one day. So spare 60 seconds and listen the fuck up. If you are in a survival situation and do not have the correct batteries for something, maybe a torch, maybe your Xbox controller's died, I don't know. Fill the parts where the battery doesn't connect with tinfoil. To the negative end, not the positive end. And this will legitimately make the device work. Life saved. Next, the international distress code. If you are in a situation where you can't tell someone you're in danger, but you are, the international distress code is 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots. You can draw it on paper, tap it with your finger, or even blink it. Life saved. If a bad boy power line comes down in front of you, shit luck, bye. I'm kidding. Do not walk or run away. The safest 2 ways to get away is by bunny hopping or shuffling away, but always keep your feet together. Never have them apart. Otherwise, you know. If you were fortunate enough to be in a fire, sizzle, sizzle, do not just open a door. No shit. If a fire's on the other side of the door, guess where the fire is now? Touch the door to see if it's hot, but touch it with the back of your hand so you don't burn the front. Because if you didn't know any of these, you have to share it. Elon!
Facts that could save your life one day, part 1. Polar bears have insane ADHD. If one is chasing you, immediately drop clothing items like a hat. The bear will be confused and it will stop to sniff them. If you need help in a public place, it's a bad idea to just scream help. Being specific is important, so point at someone and tell them to call 911. If you're buried alive, don't panic because you have a limited amount of oxygen. And before trying anything, pull your shirt over your head. You don't want to be swallowing dirt while you're trying to escape.
Are some real, but crazy facts that could save your life. If you sit down to shit in prison, remove one foot completely from your pants so you can get up and fight if attacked. Carjacks are for lifting, not holding. If you are trying to rescue someone, check for danger first and maintain your own safety. In a lot of situations, it's easy for untrained first responders to become a casualty themselves in the heat of the moment trying to help others. If you find yourself stranded in a desert, ration sweat, not water. Of course, don't drink all of your water in one go, but the rate at which you'll dehydrate and overheat if exerting yourself, for example walking/hiking too fast or climbing over obstacles in the heat of the day, will off you much quicker. Many people are found KO'd with water, which is terrifying. Not too crazy, but if someone is acting drunk, but didn't have any alcohol, ask them to smile. If one side of their mouth is down, take them to a doctor cause they are having or will have a stroke. If you're choking, don't get embarrassed, don't go to the bathroom, don't walk away from people. I've seen a couple people nearly KO because they were panicking and walked away from the dinner table and such while choking. Do the universal sign for choking with both your hands on your neck, and most people will get the message. Teabag, stop bleeding. They have an acid called tannic which is a natural clotting agent. A motorcycle helmet is stronger than a skull. On that note, don't wear sandals and ride. Dress for the slide, not for the ride. If you drive after being awake for 24 hours, your response times are impaired, the equivalent of somebody just over the drunk driving limit. Point at someone and delegate.